one, it's Lexi. So now that we're in the summer months, like we always have like a lot of movie nights. We always put like a projector outside and have like a movie night underneath the stars. So I decided I have some movie recommendations for you. So if you are on the market for a good movie, I have a lot of movies here that are like in different categories. I'll bring it down into categories. So without further ado, let's get started. So if you are looking for a girls' night movie night, then I have kind of three selections here for you. So the first one is How to Be Single. We saw this one in theaters, and it's just like a good kind of girl power movie. It's not as funny as you would think it would be, but I still think it has like a good message in it. And it's still fun. It's a good fun movie to watch with your friends. And the next one is another kind of girl power movie. These two are like my favorites of all time. I love them so much. And it's Pitch Perfect and then Pitch Perfect 2. I just love these movies. I think it's just a good movie. Just have fun and just kind of watch. I think I love kind of like, I don't know. These are just my favorite. I don't know why I love it so much, but I do. If you haven't watched these already, I highly recommend you check it out. Because I was like, I don't know. I saw the commercials and I was like, I don't know what this is about, but then me and my sister and my brother watched it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I love it so much, and I'm so excited for the third one. I don't know when it's going to come out, probably a couple years from now, but I just love them. So these next few movies are ones that are kind of like feel good, kind of make you feel happy. And so the first one is A League of Their Own. This is like a classic movie. There's no crying in baseball is where it came from. But I really like it. It's a good kind of girl power feminist movie as well. And it's just a good kind of, like, I think it has a good storyline. It's just fun to watch. I really enjoy it. This is probably one of my all-time favorite, like, classic movies. So this next one is one that I really love. The soundtrack of this is just amazing. That's how I found out about this movie. And it is Begin Again. It stars, it has, like, a lot of people in it. But it's also on Netflix. I saw it just recently. It was added. And it's basically about how music can, like, save your life, I guess. And it's just about a singer-songwriter who was dumped by her, who was cheated on by her boyfriend, who was becoming like a famous like pop star, and how she stumbled upon this guy who kind of got fired from his own record company, and so they kind of do their own like record outside. And it's just really good. I love the music in this, and it's just a really good movie. So it's on Netflix, so if you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend you check it out, and it just has an amazing soundtrack. This movie is also one, I think it's just a cute movie, and it's The Intern. It stars Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway, and it's just about a guy who was successful business-wise, and so he's retired now, so he goes and does an internship at this up-and-coming company that Anne Hathaway owns, and basically it's like he kind of helps her kind of get her personal life and her business on track, and it's just a cute movie. The two main characters in here have a very good relationship and chemistry. It's just fun to watch. It's a feel-good movie, and I think anyone will kind of like it. It's just a happy movie. And this is another one. It's probably one of my favorites. Every time I watch this, I get so hungry. But it's Julia and Juliet. It's about like Julia Child and also Julia Powell, I think is her last name, and she's like a blogger, and she does like this goal where she's going to cook everything in Julia Child's cookbook in 1 year, and it just kind of shows their parallel storylines, and it's just really good. I really like this. I always get hungry watching it. I want to eat everything. Some of the stuff in there is pretty gross, but for the most part, everything looks delicious. So moving on to kind of action and adventure kind of storylines, or kind of like high energy movies, I guess you can say. The first one I have is Captain Phillips. I think this was nominated for a few awards a couple years ago, and it's just really good. It's about a true life story about a guy who was kind of like captured by Somali pirates, and it's just really intense, and it has Tom Hanks in it. It's just really good. And this movie is just so intense, and I highly recommend, if you have not seen it, to check it out because it is good. You'll be on the tip of your toes the entire time. This one is like a classic, and it is Indiana Jones, and I really like this one. I'm not a fan of the other ones, but I think the first one is my favorite. And so, like, if you haven't seen this yet, like the people in the archaeology department at school were like shocked, anthropology were like shocked that I've never seen it. I just saw it like a couple months ago, but I've seen all of them, but this one is definitely my favorite, and it's just one of those classic like adventure movies. And so yeah, then kind of moving on with like the classic adventure ones, I have Jurassic Park and then Jurassic World. I don't like the other two Jurassic Parks as much, but the first one is definitely my favorite, and then this one is good as well. I really love Chris Pratt. So yeah, it's just fun. Like, it's always adventure. When I was little, I really loved dinosaurs, so like kind of watching this is just really interesting, and I just love it. It's just one of those favorites that you can watch a million times and still love. So moving into kind of the romantic comedy ones, these are kind of like the untraditional. I try to pick like kind of untraditional ones as well. So the first one I have here is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. This is like probably one of my favorite romantic comedies. And I think like the funny thing is about this movie is that my dad's Greek, so basically this is like how my mom and dad like kind of got into it, because my mom's not Greek, but just imagine they were 15 years old. But this is basically their story, just, you know, minus like 10 years, but it's just one of those funny movies, and like everything in here, you think they're like joking, but it's honestly true. Like, it's like how it is in like a Greek family. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check this out. It's just one of probably my all-time favorite movies. So moving on, this is like kind of another kind of romantic comedy. It's a little bit untraditional, and it is What If, and it stars Harry Potter's Daniel Radcliffe. I really like it because it takes place in Toronto, and that's where I'm from, so I like kind of seeing home. But it's about like two people that start out as friends, and then how they fall in love with each other, but it's kind of like the ups and downs of that, and I really like it. It's a bit like different kind of rom-com, and I think like if you kind of like those, then I highly recommend you check these out. So this next one is one that I also really like, and it is About Time, and it is basically a romantic comedy but with time travel, and I really like it. I really like the relationship between the two main characters, and just kind of, I don't know, like I can't explain it. You kind of have to go into this movie blind, but it's just really good. And I don't know, that's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't want to spoil anything. So if you're kind of wanting something like this, then I highly recommend you check this out. It is really good. It's really well done. So this is probably one of my all-time favorite movies, and it is The Proposal. And I think it's just really funny. I love Ryan Reynolds, and it's just kind of a cute kind of rom-com. And I really like it, how they start out hating each other, but they eventually grow to like each other. So it's about like this high-power businesswoman who is gonna end up getting deported, so she kind of gets like a ultimatum with her kind of secretary that they're gonna get married, so they kind of have to go through this whirlwind, and because she doesn't want to get deported. So if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend that you do. It is just probably one of my all-time favorite movies. So moving on to movies that are based on true stories, the first one I have is Spotlight, and this is about, and I think this won like Best Picture at the Academy Awards this year. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure it did. And basically it's about the reporters that kind of uncovered the kind of child abuse that the Catholic Church was hiding. It's just really interesting. I like it because it doesn't really glorify journalism, and I think it kind of shows kind of the dark side of it, and it's just like, it's an unbelievable story, because like people knew this was happening, but they didn't really do anything about it. This was like all like the political stuff going on, so this is a really good one. It's very suspenseful, and it's really good. This next one is Bridge of Spies, and it stars Tom Hanks, and it's basically about the Cold War and how like both the USSR and America had like each other's spies, and they were captured, and this was about a guy, I think he was a lawyer, who kind of has to like negotiate between these two countries and kind of keep things like Cold War-ish, so like war doesn't break out between these two things, and kind of like how he had to like negotiate to get this spy back to Russia, and the other guy, the American guy, back from Russia. So like it's just really good. It's Tom Hanks, so you know it's gonna be good. This was another movie that was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards, I think a couple years ago, and it is The Imitation Game, and it's about the guy who kind of solved the Enigma code during World War II, and it kind of follows his story and kind of like his fall from grace, I guess you could say, after the war. Even though he was like this war hero, he was gay, and the British government kind of, I guess, went after him because of that, and it's just a sad story, but I don't know, I think it's important to see, especially now, kind of how like things have changed and how we kind of need to change our perspective on things. So the next one I have is Woman in Gold. This one is the one I watched last year and it was really good. It stars Ryan Reynolds and Helen Mirren. It's basically about a older lady who escapes from Poland during World War II, and her family had this painting. I'm probably, like, most people have probably seen it, but it's called The Woman in Gold, and her family owned it and it was stolen by the Nazis, and now she's kind of fighting to get it back from the government, and it's just kind of like the legal battle that took place. And so yeah, like, it's just really interesting just kind of how this whole thing kind of happened, and it was just really interesting. I highly recommend you check it out. This movie deserves more credit than what it's given. And the last one kind of in like this kind of based on true story is Defiance. I'm pretty sure this one's on Netflix. If not, it's on Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure. And it's about these three brothers who are Jewish in Poland and during World War II, and so they kind of start like their own colony within the woods where they save other Jews, and they have like their own little, I guess, village in the forest they're hiding. And it's just an interesting story how this whole thing kind of took place and how they saved hundreds of lives, and it's just amazing. And it stars Daniel Craig, and it's just a really good movie. This is probably one of my favorite kind of World War II movies. So this last category is kind of like book to movie adaptation. So without further ado, like for the first one, obviously I can't go without saying Harry Potter. Obviously, I think we have like a Harry Potter marathon 2 or 3 times a year, and it's just so good. I just love them. I love kind of the feeling you get when you watch them. So yeah, I can't wait for the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them comes out. So yeah. These two are also one of my favorite books to movie adaptations, and this is not really one. I don't really like the third one, I will say that, but I really like the first two. The first one is The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian. I really like these. I think they're just I think they're really well done, and I really like them. I don't like the third one for some reason. I don't like the guy with the funny eyebrows, but these are just good. I remember we went to go see this for my birthday, but I really like these. And I think they're really well done in terms of like book to movie adaptations. So the next one I have is probably a book. Like, I like the movie better than the book, I will say this, and it is Perks of Being the Wallflower. I feel like a lot of people like the movie better than the book. I don't know, I feel like because it was written in like a journal, like a diary format, like letters, that I didn't really like it as much, but I really like this. It's just a good coming of age story that I think everyone needs to see, and it does deal with some important subject matter as well, and it's just really well done. This is probably one of my all-time favorite book to movie adaptations. They didn't follow the book completely to a T, but I think they did complement it very well, and it is The Help. I really love this. It's probably one of my favorite books and movies, but it's just really good. It deals with a lot of like kind of racial issues, and I feel like a lot of like the tension it's kind of been unleashed now recently within the past few years, and so I think this is just a good book and movie that everyone needs to see. And last but certainly not least, I have The Hunger Games. For believe it or not, I really did not like the first one. I feel like the cinematography in it is just really weird. It's like too shaky, but I really love the second one. Oh no, that's Mockingjay. Here we go. I really love the second one, and this one's probably my favorite, and then I didn't think the last one needed to be broken down into two movies, but I still really like it. So I think they're really good. I really like them. Not as much as Harry Potter, but they're still very well done, and I really like it. I love Katniss. I think she's just a really good complex character. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this movie's recommendation. So let me know in the comments below what movies you think I need to check out. If you've seen any of these, what you thought about it. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.